What's going on, everybody? This is another exciting episode of the Extraordinary Man Podcast. So you guys should know who I am by now. If you don't, let me remind you. My name is Phil Jones, Mike Jones. Have you guys know me personally and professionally? You guys know the greatest co-host on the face of the planet. State your name.
I am Midas. Make sure you put a king in front of that. Let's go.
And without further ado, we're about to just go ahead and jump right into this amazing sea of content. Today, we're going to be reacting to a creator who goes by the name of Priscilla Clark, the Queen Maker, as many may know her on her social media platforms. We want to make sure that she gets the due credit that she has deserved because we are reacting to something that she said that actually crossed across our media desk earlier today. Maybe older content, maybe not. We don't know for sure. But for what it's worth, we're definitely going to go ahead and delve into it. So while I'm pulling everything up, Midas, why don't you go ahead and tell me what you thought about it when I sent it to you?
I thought it was very intriguing. Well, first, before we get into that, a little bit of disclaimer that we're not saying that we are for or against whatever content that you do find on her page. We're only reacting to this specific video. So I just want to put that out there. But when I heard the video, I was like, you know what? This kind of really does make a lot of sense. It actually makes a lot of sense. And a few examples that she used to break it down, I kind of think that she hit a home run with it. And I'd like to go ahead and get into it and, show our viewers what we got.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just show them the Instagram real quick. I'm going to go ahead and pull up her stuff just so that you guys, at your own leisure, if you guys decide that you want to follow it or follow up on her, again, we are not saying that we are advocates for or against this content creator's content. We are only responding to something that came across. You guys do your own due diligence, your own research, get to know this content creator if you are interested. And if you do, and you have your opinions about the content creator, that is yours and yours only to have. We are only commenting on the concept at hand. So again, the Queen Maker Official, that is her Instagram handle. By all means, take the time to get to know her if you so choose. So Midas, are you ready to get into this live session, son? No, you gotta say it right.
Let's go.
There we go. All right, so be advised, you may not agree with all that is said on this piece, but we encourage you to use discernment when listening. Let's go.
Are not attracted to masculine energy. They're attracted to feminine energy. Okay? So your necklace, that's feminine. Jewelry is feminine, right?
Okay.
Money is feminine. Cars.
Hold on, wait. Money's feminine?
Yes, money is feminine.
Break that down.
Okay.
You got to break me down on that.
Okay. So anything, attractive energy is feminine. Attraction is about femininity, right? Attraction pulls attention towards it. Anything that's operating in feminine energy is pulling attention towards it. So women are feminine, they're in the feminine vessel, and just them existing pulls attention towards them. Okay? Jewelry, it pulls attention towards it. It's feminine. Money, it pulls attention towards it. Now you can put money in a masculine position and make it move, right? But money in itself, sitting still, will draw attention towards it. So the only way that you know that a man has masculine energy is based on how much feminine energy he acquires.
What about a gun? What about a gun?
It's all feminine. Everything.
A gun is feminine?
Yes.
Explain to me how a gun is feminine.
Anything that pulls attention towards it is, listen, anything, because listen, planet Earth, Mother Earth is feminine, and everything that exists in Mother Earth is feminine, all right? All comes from the earth. You can't build a gun without materials from Mother Earth. It's all materials that come from nature, right? So those things are feminine. The building, the actual work is the masculine energy. The moving things that put it together, that's masculine energy. But the feminine pieces, that is what draws attention. It comes from Mother Earth. It's all materials. So masculine energy is simple. Masculine energy is a moving energy, is work ethic, determination. That's all masculine energy is. And the only way that you can determine that if a male has masculine energy is based on how much feminine energy he acquires. This is the reason why a man that has a ring to show that he's married will attract other women, because women are not attracted to masculine energy, they're attracted to feminine energy. So the more women that a man has, the more women that a man can attract. They ain't attracted to you. That's just the bottom line. You're in a masculine vessel. It ain't you. It's the feminine energy that you acquire. So when a woman sees you, right, she is attracted to the feminine energy that you possess. It just is what it is. That's why you're attracted to women, because every feminine energy is an attractive energy. Masculine energy is a pursuant energy. It moves towards. That's the difference between the two.
I agree with you.
Women are.
So I mean, there's a lot to unpack there. I mean, a lot to unpack. So do you want to kick it off, or should I?
So I definitely we spoke about it, but yeah, I definitely agree with what she's saying. And she definitely, I like the examples that she used. You know, she definitely broke it down, and it does make sense when you're hearing what she's saying and you dissecting what she's saying. You start to really understand why a lot of women are very vocal about the gentleman that they would like to have in their life. They need to, you know, possess certain things. They need to have certain things. They need to have ambition. They need to, you know, there's a long laundry list that they're looking for out of a significant other. And this, you know, kind of really hits home as and explaining why.
You know, and to kind of go along with what you were saying, is like one of the things that I thought that really hit close to home was this explains to me a lot about how when guys get into relationships and they like real serious relationships, a lot of times their grooming patterns change. You know, they start wearing colognes and stuff where they didn't used to wear colognes. And it's like they start caring about their appearance, the shoes and everything. The first time that I really started caring about my appearance was because of what a woman was doing. She was gradually changing my wardrobe up and gradually putting me in positions and edging me to, excuse me, go get your hair cut. Go put yourself together. Hey, babe, I smelled this cologne that I thought was really good. Like when a woman comes into a man's life, she generally is trying to upgrade him. And a sense of upgrading is kind of like she's introducing you to things that ultimately will make you more attractive to women. And it's kind of interesting how she broke that down to where it's just like when you go outside, you all of a sudden you find yourself more appealing to women who you generally were not appealing to before. But that's after a woman has already put her stamp or her mark on you.
Yeah, and it's crazy because she's trying to, you know, we don't use the term build a man, but she's putting you in a state of you being more attractive to her, which it's a good idea, but sometimes it's counterintuitive because now you're making him more marketable for other women as well.
Well, and that's why when it comes down to the concept of high value men, and here's where these things actually come together, is that by having discipline, by having loyalty, you know, characteristics of strong men along the lines of understanding what's at stake and what I stand to lose. Now, again, is monogamy counterintuitive? You know, one could argue. You know, one definitely could argue that monogamy is definitely counterintuitive to human nature. But again, depending on what school of thought that you apply to, if it's more of a religious, more of a biblical type of lifestyle versus, you know, just going off of the raw desires that are embedded into human beings, just like you have to weigh out whether or not the discipline of keeping yourself at bay versus what you feel and what instinctually comes to you are at play. We are hunters naturally. We see what we like, we go after it, you know, and it's like that's just kind of how we are. And we rank ourselves as men based off of those who are more willing to go the extra mile versus those who become complacent easy at a lower level.
Absolutely. And you know, it definitely hits home a lot on explaining why I think you touched on a little bit where relationships kind of start to fail or they start to unravel. The dynamic starts to shift. the level of trust and everything starts to leave, because it the way that she explained it and broke it down is that, and I think Daily Wrap Up coined it, where it's transactional. The relationship is transactional. This actually puts a stamp on it and explaining, yes, it is from a woman's standpoint. Yes, it is, because it's all about the resources that this man can gather. It's all about his drive, his ambition to go out there and go get it. You know, in the Black community, they coin struggle love. They don't want struggle love. And the only way that you can't struggle is having the ability to be able to acquire resources for this said woman that you want to attract and keep attracted to you. With that being said, it couldn't be any more evident. These are pain points on a lot of these podcasts. A lot of you gentlemen are out there dating these women, and you're getting met with these same pain points from these women, and they're telling you what it is that they want. And I think that what we're doing is we're bucking against the system per se,
rather than embracing it for what it
and
is.
embracing the system and getting out here and being the ambitious man, going out here and hitting the gym, going out here and acquiring said resources that these ladies are looking for out of their significant other, so that they can feel provided for, they can feel safe. What say you?
I mean, I couldn't agree more. And it's like, I've even had conversations with women in recent history as far as just looking at the scope of what they find to be more attractive, as far as just dealing with men in general. And the thing about it is that there are some things that we like to believe are really us, but it's more so attributes, things that we do. Like one thing that she had explained is that in this clip that we just watched, is that masculinity is movement. It's about what we do with the money. It's how it's transacted. It's about things that are happening, kind of how I gave you the example the other day, to where stagnation or the appearance of stagnation, for instance, why it seems like everybody's always got this joke that women hate to see a man sitting on the couch and being comfortable and laying around or whatever, where they don't necessarily have discernment on whether he's just being lazy and not ambitious, or he just got done working a 70-hour work week and now I just really want to spend 2 hours in front of my PlayStation. In her mind, or her spidey senses, or whatever we want to call them, that PlayStation is representative of laziness and non-focus and everything that is a turnoff to her.
Mm-hmm.
It is a representation of something that is not going to get her panties wet at the end of the night.
Well, and that can definitely be a trap door in certain instances, because a lot, not all, but a lot fail to understand. Like you just said, this man worked a 70-hour work week. He's definitely deserving to just sit on the couch for a couple of hours, rest his back. Maybe he got something going on with his leg, whatever. You know what I'm saying? He just want to chill. He's definitely deserving of that. And I think that having that mentality of, the PlayStation equates to laziness, that can definitely be a strain on a relationship, especially when this man is busting and working hard and making sure that the household is upheld, especially from a financial standpoint. So looking at the PlayStation as lazy sometimes can be a detriment. Now, if that man honestly truly is lazy all day, every day, he's on the PlayStation, unless the PlayStation is his occupation and he's actually making money from that PlayStation, totally different. But yeah, if he's
No. I mean, because even if you're making money from that PlayStation, it's more so about what it represents. It's not about what it is. It's like, yeah, it's a pastime and it's whatever. But in the mind of many people, it's just a turnoff. It's a tool that is represented as childish. Although as a man, I might not feel that way. I may feel that it's just, my little bitty escape or whatever. It's like, for me, it's no different than, okay, well, I'll go to the bar and hang out with the homies for a couple of hours. But then it's like in the mindset of somebody else, is like it may be that there's more sophisticated things that you're doing to occupy your time versus playing a children's video game. And again, it's like I'm not coining it that. I'm saying that based on the analysis of what it looks like. You going to get dressed up, putting on a nice pair of shoes, going out to the lounge to hang out with your partners for a couple hours after a long day of work, or you coming home plopped on the couch with a controller in your hand. How does it look to the opposite sex? Sometimes that's really what it boils down to, is that when she's seeing this, she's seeing something that's representative of childlike behavior versus seeing something that's representative of what she sees as masculine behavior.
And
because you're still getting up and you're doing something versus sitting still and doing nothing,
and
or perceivably doing
1000%. I'm totally in agreement with that. I'm just saying it's just a slippery slope because you're equating something that somebody enjoys as a pastime as being lazy or childish, and it's like it almost diminishes the ability to have imagination, to be able to think beyond, reality, and it kind of, balls it up and just throws it away. You don't get to do that. We don't operate like that, and that's what that screams. We don't get to think that way. That's just like watch. What if I chose to sit down and watch a movie? For 2 hours? It's 100% made up, unless it's based on a true story. But even then, you still got actors, you still got music, you still got sound effect. It's all made up.
But see, you saying something.
The aspect of it.
But you saying something, and you probably don't even realize what you're saying. But I want to make sure that you understand clearly where the disconnect is. Is that it's not about what you think, nor is it about having rational thought. And I'm going to tie that into the next piece of this thing. We're going to break down, discuss the masculine and feminine energy. So we found an article that was discussing masculine and feminine energy. We're going to get ready to pull up in a second. And in those traits, it will pretty much explain kind of along the lines of what you're saying, and explain to you how these things work as far as generally how things are operating when it comes down to operating with the masculine and feminine energy. So let me go ahead and pull that article up, and then we can come back to this part after we get through there, okay?
All right.
All right, so let's look at this. So this article is called Masculine Energy versus Feminine Energy, Energy Explained and How They Affect Relationships. This article was published on July 17th of 2022. Mingu, I'm not exactly sure who that author is, but at the same time, I just want to make sure that all credit is given. This is coming from website cxomedia.id. Make sure you guys follow it. If you like it, please subscribe to them, sign in, whatever it is that you want to do with them to show them your support. But I definitely felt that this was a very good article. So, Midas, do you want to go ahead? You said what?
Can you full screen it?
Yeah, I'm about to.
All right, cool.
So you're going to go ahead and read off that first portion of masculine energy?
As reported by Living Well Counseling Services, masculine energy is about doing and being action-oriented. Masculine energy is stable and more predictable. The strengths are will, clarity, and focus. The masculine energy likes to create structures and rules, so it knows how to apply logic properly. Masculine energy has core energy of characteristics as follows: good rational and logical skills, able to think clearly, able to build ongoing effort, good external strength and persona, able to think creatively and solve problems, fond of challenges, longing for admiration and appreciation, independent.
All right, so I'm going to read the feminine energy. And in the definitions that they give, or in the description they give of the feminine energy, I'm going to explain to you why there's no discernment between playing a video game and watching a movie. So according to the article, contrary to masculine energy, feminine energy is flowing and dynamic. Its movements cannot be predicated or always explained with rational mind. This energy is not constrained by social norms, but it does not follow any rules other than the guidance that comes from the heart. People who are more dominant with feminine energy will have the following characteristics: easily able to calm down, good at taking care of themselves and loving themselves, able to find creative inspiration, able to empathize, able to make judgments outside of the realm of rationality, prioritizing feelings, and having good communication skills. So, in here, there's kind of a contradiction, but it does make sense if you're listening for it. Number one, while I was explaining to you about the differences, it says right here, the energy is not constrained to social norms because it does not follow any rules other than the guidance comes from its own heart. Meaning it's ebb and flow. Meaning that it's not based off of what they can prove, it's based off what they feel. When it's saying that it's flowing and dynamic, that it cannot be predicted or always explained with a rational mind. You immediately defer to rationalize and how these two things are similar. If she's operating out of her feminine, she's only going off of what she feels witnessing the situation. Not based off of, okay, well, 2 plus 2 is 4, 4 plus 4 is 8, 8 plus 8 is 16. She's not seeing it that way. She's going off of the feeling. And you can't connect with that operating in your masculine energy per the definition. You understand?
We supposed to.
We would like to.
We would like.
We would like to.
Okay.
We would like
Well,
to. We would like to be able. We would like to be able to understand, right? We would like to be able to understand when she's saying that she's feeling something and her, you know what I'm saying, something in her heart is feeling this way. We defer to things that make sense because our entire world is building boxes, creating boxes, fitting those boxes where they go. It's like literally our lives are Tetris and their lives are washing machines. Mm-hmm. They grab the clothes, throw it in there, it's all spinning around in there together. Right. With you know that you got 5 slots here. The little T piece right here is going to fit right there. It's going to knock out about 3 slots. Okay, boom. There's the square piece is going to knock out another 4 slots over there. If I bring this long, skinny piece over here, boom, I just knocked out 9 slots over there to that side. That's how we think. These two thought processes do not. Well, I feel that the long piece would do better over here. Because 10 moves down the line, it may be a situation. Meanwhile, you sitting there trying to rationalize this at the same time and you missed out on the move and now you lost the game.
Right.
Because you're trying to operate in something that's not natural to you.
Right.
So that's why if this article holds true, that's why she cannot connect with you playing the video games because what she feels when she sees you sitting. We go back to the earlier part of the masculine energy definition. Masculine energy is about doing and being action oriented. There's zero action orientation about sitting on a video game in the mind or in the heart of whatever those women who don't agree with it is. Because you have to be engaged in it to see the action. Whereas if you were sitting down watching a movie, sitting down watching a TV show or something like that, she may be able to connect with the show and she can sit down and enjoy the show with you. So she can connect with it. Whereas she can't connect with the controller and the shooting it doesn't compute. So that's one of those things to where it's like, okay, I kind of can understand the lack there of rationality from that viewpoint. Even though I may not agree with it, it's not about agreeing with it. It's about understanding the other person's point of view.
Okay.
So what are your thoughts on that?
I kind of agree with what you're saying that they not having the ability, especially if the woman is not a gamer. And we're going to stick with that analogy because that I think that's the easiest one to, follow. If she's not a gamer, then yes, it is, difficult for her to be able to rationalize and connect with understanding the at peace and, just being able to relax or whatever. And to her, a man is supposed to be working, mowing the yard or, changing oil, whatever have you, doing something of the sort. He's moving. He doesn't sit still. even after working a 60, 70, 80 hour work week. You come home, you still working. Okay, you work 70 hours this week. Now you working on the cabinet. Now you buffing the floors. Now you fixing the chair. Now you working on the toilet. Now I get it. I get it, especially if you kind of built that type of relationship with your significant other to where she did see you constantly moving like that. She's grown used to you doing that. So now that you're sitting down, that's different. It feels different because I'm not used to seeing you do that.
Well, think about it like this too. You have an investment banker and you have a IT cybersecurity. The IT guy more than likely is going to make exponentially more money than the investment banker, depending on the level that they are. His job is sexy. This guy who he sits at desks, he troubleshoots and stuff like that. It does not appeal when you hear IT cybersecurity. It does not appeal to hear it. Because the thing is, as soon as you hear it, first thing that comes to your mind is sitting at a desk. Sitting, not moving. This guy is dealing in money, as she explained. Money itself is feminine. So the idea of sitting around all this money, being around all this money, it's an allure to it. It's a
But
tell me more.
Still sits.
Huh?
An investment banker is still sitting.
But again, it's like I'm sitting, but I'm sitting with money. It's like you go into a jewelry store and you're dealing in a jewelry store. Like, yeah, he's standing behind that glass case all day long, but he's standing around a bunch of stuff that is attractive to the eye.
Right.
Soon as you see that jewelry or those clothes or whatever it is, that's when you're walking past that shop, it makes you want to walk inside of it. There's nothing about Dan's cybersecurity hub that says, "Ooh, let me walk in there." Video Game Programmers Anonymous. There's nothing that says, "Let me walk in there." Unless you're into that.
Unless you're into that. Unless you're into that.
Unless you're into that. And even then, it's like a lot of the times now you're dealing in a niche versus dealing with something that's more macro, and more macro being that it has a general allure to majority of people, majority of the time.
And that could be a problem too, because you do have, a lot of young ladies that will turn away from a man because of the type of job, the title, when this man could be making, high six figures, but because the occupation or the position isn't attractive, they're turned off. But you could live a wonderful life dealing with some type of analyst, some type of IT analyst. It sounds boring as hell. But the man is
it's only
50 a year.
It's only boring until you pull up in your Aston Martin or you pull up in something that is alluring. There has to be something else tied to it. So it's just kind of like if I meet you on the street and I ask you, "Hey, what do you do?" and you tell me that, and it's just like, "Okay, great." But then I meet you and you're hopping out of something that is eye-catching and alluring. And it's like, I ask you what you do. It's going to have a completely different appeal to it.
Hold on to that. So you struck a big chord. Matter of fact, hold on to that. And I'm explaining why. Because now I'm finna bring this home. This goes back to what I was saying before. If the women are expressing these pain points, attractive car, we actually took away the attractive position to now what resources does what you do provide?
Okay. Go.
We took that away. What resources do you provide? So when these women are expressing these pain points, we want this, we want that, we want this, we want that. It goes back to we need to stop bucking against the system and go acquire these things. If you are a in a specific position, you want to live a certain way, and things of that nature, then you need to start going after women that operate in the same bandwidth as you. You cannot go after a woman that is Lamborghini, Ferrari, BMW, drop top. You cannot go after that woman and expect that woman to want to love you, trust you, be loyal, whatever, insert whatever here. You cannot expect any of that when you don't have the necessities, or not even the necessities, but the requirements that she's requiring for you to have to be in a relationship with her. You're batting above a tier that you cannot hit. If you want to attract said woman, then you need to go get the resources. You need to go get the Lambo. You need to go get the yacht. You have to, if that's the type of woman that you're attracted to and that's the type of woman you want.
I couldn't have said it better. It's that simple. It's like don't scream at the woman that's the gold digger if you're not gonna do what it takes to get the woman that's the gold digger.
There you go.
You're worried about the wrong thing. You're batting outside of your league. If you want Susie Homemaker, then you do the requirements to get Susie Homemaker, but operate within your tier.
Operate within your tier.
Don't go out of your way trying to expect somebody to bring their standards down to accommodate you because you don't want to do the work to get the things that are attractive to her. That you look at and say, oh, the girl that's attracted to the rappers and the thugs and things like that. Well, if you're not that, then why are you concerned with what those girls want? Why do you want the girls that want the thugs and the rappers? It does not make sense. Instead, that just shows that you are oblivious of where you stand in the sexual marketplace. And because of that, you are having a hard time deciphering where you rank. You want something that is outside of your tier. And even then, when you are doing the things that you're doing, you're snubbing the girls that are perfect for you and trying to aim for something that is outside of you, and you don't foot the bill of what it is. So what if you make 100,000, 200,000? What if you make very, very decent money? Well, guess what? If you're cheap and frugal, guess what? That's not the type of man she wants. If you don't know what Givenchy is or any of these name brands, I might mispronounce that because I'm not into that. But if you're not into those brand names and you're not a brand whore, you don't go and shop the Louis Gucci lifestyle, then stop shooting for the girls that want to and try to bring them down to Gap and Old Navy.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't make sense. And as painful as it is for me to side on this side of the spectrum, we here at the Extraordinary Men, we only deal in what makes sense. We don't deal in how we feel. This is not a red pill, blue pill type of situation. We care about facts. We care about research. We care about actually taking a look at the situation and really getting to know what it is that is being presented and giving it a case-by-case deliberation to be able to say, hey, you know what? In this instance, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I could easily say, oh, well, women, your standards are too high, but I could also look at the spectrum and say, hey, man, your standards are too low. Your standards for self are too low.
Mm-hmm.
Are you mad at them for wanting it, or are you mad at yourself for not having the ambition to obtain it? That's a question that you can only ask yourself. Anyway, guys, this is Phil Jones, aka Mike Jones. Have you guys know me personally, professionally, and I am one half of the host of the Extraordinary Podcast, Extraordinary Men Podcast, because it's extraordinary in its own right. Anyway, and you guys know the other half of this thing, Mr. Nerdy Nerds Incorporated, Mr. Nerd Inc., Mr. Extraordinary, Mr. Everything Under the Sun, Mr. If he got a label on it, he gonna make money off of it. State your name.
I am Midas. Make sure you put a king in front of that. Let's
go. All right, y'all. Hopefully y'all liked it. Make sure you like, subscribe, and tune in to the next one. Peace.